Thank you, everybody, for joining us again for Chamber Chat. We are thrilled today to have with us Val Wayne from Acorn Floral. Val, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for having me. We're very excited to be on.
Absolutely. So, if you would tell us a little about your story. How long have you had the floral business here in the village, and how long have you been in the industry? Stuff like that.
Sure. So we purchased Acorn Floral in September of 2020, right in the midst of COVID.
Hmm.
So we're going on about 6 months already with the business. Really loving it. The Magnolia community has been so welcoming and so warm, and we feel really lucky to have landed here. Myself and my business partner. Well, my business partner Luciana, she has over 30 years of experience in the floral industry. She's owned other flower shops in Texas, where she's from. She and I are both Texas natives. And before purchasing Acorn Floral, she managed a co-op of floral farmers in Seattle.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool. And you said 6 months, so that's probably the longest 6 months of your life having to deal with COVID and taking over a new business, and that's a lot to absorb in a small amount of time.
Yes. Yes, it was.
So, speaking of COVID, what kind of things have you had to adapt to that for your business, or what changes have you had to make?
Sure. So COVID was an interesting time to purchase a business at the moment. With the shop, if anybody watching has been to our shop, I know you have, Jason. You know it's tiny, and
Mhm.
so one of our challenges was the governor's reduced capacity mandate throughout the year, and that changed from like 25% and then 50 and then back to 25. Well, when you actually do the math on our square footage, that shakes out to about 2 people, which is exactly what we need to operate the business. So a challenge was that we couldn't allow or we couldn't let any customers into the shop to browse or to shop. And so what we learned was that we had a lot of gifts on the shelves, and I know a lot of the locals have come in and they're like, "Where are the gifts? They're gone." But it was just really difficult for us to keep all the gifts on the shelves because we weren't able to sell them, essentially because we couldn't let anyone in for most of the year. So what we decided to do is we phased out the gifts, and instead we filled up all of that shelf space with more plants. Dish gardens, plants, and those are essentially the gifts now that we carry. And frankly, the garden center does such a great job at their gifts and their gift shop that we said, let's not try to overlap. And so we're now just totally focused on plants and flowers. And we've learned that that's actually the better way to go for us now. And so that's kind of been a COVID challenge, but we overcame it, and it's a great success. People are loving it.
Great job, and I've admired many times the improvements you've made inside to a small space, but still making it very functional. So you've done a great work there.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what do the floral industry is, I love coming in just to get my own smell updates, I like to call it. But what do you love about that industry? Why do you stick with that?
Well, the floral industry. Well, for one, I grew up in the floral industry. It was around me since I was a child, so that's something that I think naturally I grew up loving flowers, and I grew up loving to be around cut flowers and plants. And but I think one thing that brings a lot of joy uh, to my work, and I know to my partner Luciana's, is that we're able to be part of every day. We're kind of accomplices to, like, whether it be brightening someone's day or a surprise for somebody. And the reason people send flowers to each other are vast, but it's typically always enveloped with good, or even if it's to pass along, even if it's for condolences, it's the meaning is there to comfort people, to bring joy into someone's home. And it really is rewarding to be kind of a part of that, and so I love that.
That's awesome. And especially in a challenging time like this, to be able to be a little bit of a bright spot, that's amazing. So tell us a little
Yes,
bit more about you. You
absolutely.
mentioned earlier that you're from Texas. What are some other fun facts about you or things that people wouldn't know normally?
Sure, yeah. So, well, I have a background before I purchased the flower shop with my partner, Luciana. My background was, in fact, in commercial real estate. And so I've been in real estate for 15 years. And my previously, I was with a multinational company. They're global now, CBRE International. And right before purchasing the business, I was with Newmark Knight Frank. And yeah, so my background is very corporate, commercial real estate. Um, and I'm going to speak for Luciana because she's not here, but she did pass along the note for me. So something that people might be surprised to learn about her is that in addition to being a floral designer, she's also a mixed media artist. And so she
Hmm.
does oil and acrylic paintings. And she's actually regularly commissioned for paintings. And she's had some of her work featured in the Gang Gallery in New York City. So that's something I think people might be surprised to learn about her.
Wow. That's very impressive.
Yes,
Uh,
thank you. Well, she's the creative of the group. Oh, and then finally, the big one is that she and I are a mother-daughter duo. So we are business partners, but she's also my mother, and that's kind of how it ties into me growing up in the flower industry and just loving it. I always grew up around mom and her flower shops, and she in Texas she owned and operated multiple flower shops, including a wholesaler. She was a wholesale shop as well. And so, yeah, it's kind of a natural transition for both of us to be working together now, doing something that we both love.
that's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been in Seattle how long now?
I moved to Seattle in 2014.
Okay.
Yep, and Luciana has been here almost 10 years. So she moved here before I did.
Yeah.
Yep, and she moved here also to she pursued a job that was in design in interior decorating and design,
Mhm.
and then eventually she just kind of gravitated back towards flowers.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Her first love.
indeed.
So for the one or two people that are watching this that don't know about Acorn Floral, describe where the shop is located, if you would, and then other ways that they could follow you on socials or website and things like that.
Yeah, sure. So we're located really close to the village. I like to say we're in the village, but we're just off the beaten path of the village. We are at 2313 Viewmont Way West, and one there are a couple ways that our viewers can visit us. We've put during COVID, we put a lot of effort into revamping our website, so now you can access our online catalog of arrangements, and you can just pick from there, or you can pick a custom bouquet and order it right from the website. So it's super convenient. You don't have to come in or even call us. You can just pop onto our website and order from there. And that is acornfloral.com. And another way you can follow us is on Instagram. That's acorn.floral. That's on Instagram. And we're also on Facebook under Acorn Floral. Something fun that we're doing this summer is we decided to do what we're calling the Summer of Giveaways. And that's going to be through our Instagram account. And every month we'll be doing a contest. And so we encourage participation on our Instagram account on specific posts. And then we will be naming a winner at the end of each contest who will win an arrangement. So we just named our first winner. I think it was last week. And it was great because we had a lot of participation and a lot of names that I did recognize, a lot of our regulars. And so we named our first winner last week, and we'll be doing another one at the end of May.
Very
So
cool.
jump on Instagram and follow us.
And I heartily endorse that because I love following them on Instagram. There's some beautiful stuff that they're sharing regularly. So go find them right now. All right.
Oh,
Well,
thank you, Jason.
absolutely. Well, Val, thank you so much again for being a part of this and sharing a little bit about your story. And um, I look forward to seeing you soon in the village.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so
Take
much. I
care.
really appreciate it.
Sure.